Welcome to Breaking Barriers. You know your path. We know the obstacles, and we can teach you how to tear them down. And now your host, CEO and founder of Adapting Social, John Vigero.
All right, guys, welcome back to Breaking Barriers. I'm super pumped. I got my guy Drew Smith here today in the building. What's up,
That's
man?
right. What's going on,
How we
man?
doing?
Doing great,
With
man.
Trinity Solutions USA. And this is a good topic, man, because I think the reason why I was super stoked when I met you at Anthony Bottle's event was there's so many times, right? And not just in business, but you meet people who they're trying to buy their dream home, right? Or they're trying to get their dream car, or they're in a terrible payment in a car, or they're trying to get out of their house and they want something new.
Right.
And there's always one big elephant in the room. And that's their credit.
You're talking about credit. I thought you were talking about me, man.
No,
I'm trying
come
to slow
on.
down.
I didn't say sexy. But, it's one of those things where it's like a lot of times you find yourself in a position where, I could go to my network right now and somebody right now is in a position where they're screwed. And I got a crazy story for you, for me particularly. Okay. But credit is always holding people back. So, how did you start doing this before I start asking you more questions? So talk to me about, Drew Smith. How did you get involved in this industry?
Come on, man. Doesn't everybody grow up wanting to be a bill collector / negotiator? Come on. No. How did I get into it? That's a crazy story, bro. When I got out of school, Scenic Rutgers University, RU, there we go.
RU, my wife is Scarlet Knight.
There you go. I got out of school and I was a stockbroker. Came out.
Stop it.
I kid you not,
I can
bro.
see you crushing it.
I had the best few years of my life as a stockbroker. It was a great time. And some things happened. Office wanted to move to Florida. I just had my son, newborn. I didn't want to go to Florida. Yeah, I know. We've got our family up here.
Yeah.
I made a decision. I'm like, I don't know. The guy that ran the company said, Smith, I like you. If you're not going to come to Florida with us, I'll tell you what, while you get yourself situated, I've got a collection agency over in scenic Morrisville, Pennsylvania, across the bridge. Hang tight there. You can manage over there for a little bit till you figure out what you want to do.
That's a good guy.
You're a great guy. And that figure out what you wanted to do wound up being like a 15-year career. And who knew it?
Wow.
I fell into that. So I started doing that.
Shout out to that guy.
Yeah, shout out to that guy, Larry Wall. You know who you are. So long story short, I started in that industry. I became a glorified bill collector. We're like, what the heck is this? Right. I've got degrees. This is terrible. It's miserable for the first month.
Right.
And then, your natural whatever's to kick in.
Right.
What do I want to do? I want to make a lot of money, and you could do that doing that too. But you're helping people. You're preaching and teaching. You're giving them what they need to do to get from here to here.
Right.
How do you stop the pain?
Right.
Well, here's how it happens.
Yep.
You're laying that out, and you got to teach the younger people that came up your ways. It's sales. It's everything that I really was kind of trained to do anyway. Just doing it in a different aspect. So, long story short, if that's possible, I got into that aspect. So, I spent the next 15 years managing collection agencies. I owned one for a short period of time. I got into negotiations for businesses, getting them out of accounts and things. And, that just became my thing. You get tired of doing something after a while. So about 8 years, I shifted over to helping the consumers. Listen, rather than getting you out of, chasing you down for your money, well, let's try and use that knowledge that I built over here, and let's help using that to negotiate you out of your problems.
Right.
Let's educate you so you don't get into those problems.
Right.
Things like that. So that's kind of how I got my foot in the door. And, 8 years ago, we started Trinity and haven't looked back.
That's awesome. And what's so interesting is, like I was saying earlier, so many people have been in crazy situations with their credit. So one of the things I tell you before about my it's like insane. So my wife and I, this is like 2015, right? I just proposed to her. I'm like, and she's got an old school family, right? And I'm an old school guy, so I asked the parents' blessing, for her hand in marriage. The one thing she told me straight up prior to it was like, hey, like I'm not gonna move in with you as your girlfriend. Like whenever we get engaged, that's when we'll move in. And so obviously, I already had the ring before she even said that. Nice. But so anyway, boom, I'm super stoked. At this point in time, I had never, ever, ever owned a credit card, right? Never had a credit card. I grew up with my dad and my parents who were like, if you can't buy it in cash, then don't buy it. Nice. Like that mentality. So I always thought I was doing the right thing. I started my business, back in 2008. So, I had some money saved up, whatever. and I wasn't worried about anything. And I just remember, all right, I want to buy a house now. I proposed to her, let's go find it. Just go try to find a house. We found our house, and my score, I forget what my score was. It was like low sixes because it was like really, I had no credit.
Clean sheet of paper.
Yeah. So my mortgage guy's like, yo, take a couple months, build some credit up, and then come back to the table because you're going to get crushed right now. Your credit's low. So I did that, got my credit up, right? I was super stoked. I think I'm like, the house is still on the market, thank God. This is 2015, not now, right? So it was just sitting there.
Right.
And I got my credit up to like the high sixes at the time, right? So I thought I was balling. I was like, come on, I could buy anything right now, right? But not the case. But so anyway, so I get all pumped up. We're getting paper. They run my credit, whatever else. And you know how like when you're buying a house, it's like they do it in the beginning and they do it before closing or some shit.
Right.
So my mortgage guy calls me, and he goes, John. And I know this guy personally. Craig calls me. And he goes, John. He goes, I don't even know what to say to you right now, man. I'm so sorry, but like I went back on your credit and to do the last pull, and you're at like a high 500 right now. I'm like, what the? I'm like, how?
Oh, what happened? Yeah.
So he goes, you have all these different medical things. I'm like, what are you talking about? It was from my father. So I'm John Vigaro. My dad's John Vigaro.
Gotcha.
So anyway, he goes, this is going to be a whole thing. So I went I went crazy on trans credit, what the hell it's called, TransUnion. I called everybody. Equifax. I was going crazy. I got it all removed because again, technically the only lucky part I had was I'm John A. Vigaro. He's John B. Vigaro. And so, but it took a while to get that. It took like 30 plus days. So, then fast forward, right? So I'm at that, my score went back to that normal price, the rate, whatever. Got the house, went to go sell it, found our other dream home a couple years later. The same thing happened again. But at this point in time, I was at a 7-something, right? Because now I started building credit and doing whatever. Dropped again because the guy goes, John, he goes, this is like a movie. He's like, something that was on your dad's credit just popped up again for you. And I'm trying to pull it off, but it's not letting me. So anyway, I'm saying this all to say that I know there's so many people out there that have so many instances where credit holds you back. So that's why I'm excited to have you on today, because I think that not enough people know somebody like a Drew. You got to know a Drew.
You got to know a Drew.
And that can help them out of that circumstance so that they can get something. And listen, there's also other circumstances, as you know, right, where whether it's somebody's trying to finance a car, a house, or something else. It could be for a loved one or something. There's a lot of different reasons why you need to have good credit. But what do you typically see that it takes to get somebody's credit into a better spot? So let me give you, because I know it's a general question.
That's a general question.
But if somebody's in the low sixes like I was, and and they want to be in the sevens, and let's just say that they don't have the best credit. Maybe they missed a payment or two, which is obviously typically the one that crushes you. What do you do in that circumstance? You just fucked?
No, not at all.
Better call Drew.
Better call Saul. Better call Drew. No. When you hit on anything, when you said missing a payment, that really is the first thing that crushes people. We're going to, believe me, there's some stuff going on now. We're definitely going to talk about going on in the country here. But I try to teach everybody. A lot of times folks just don't know what makes up their credit.
Right.
Drew, my credit's great. Okay, let's take a look at it.
Yeah.
This isn't great.
Right.
Well, what do you mean? I got it. I pay everything on time. Well, I try to preach and teach a little bit.
Right.
You got to know exactly, everybody's an ex-athlete or something like that.
Right.
You got to know how to play the game 100%,
right,
or else you're going to fail at it. So I like to try and teach you the rules before we even get into it.
Right.
What can people do? I'll tell you what to do. Think like you're the lender. Think like you're the bank. Think like you're the car guy. All they care about, I tell everybody, is the 3 C's. What are the 3 C's, Drew? I'm glad you asked.
Yeah.
First C, you got to be current on everything. Think like you're the bank.
Right.
Do you want to give you $500,000 if you're 60 days late on the car note?
Hell no.
Probably not, because you're going to be 6 days late with me.
Right.
So don't be that guy.
And to put that even into layman's terms, like if somebody that asks you to borrow money and historically they don't pay people back, you're going to give them money.
I'm broke today. I don't know. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
You're not going to want to do it.
Yeah.
So be current. All right. How can you be current on everything? Keep everything on auto pay.
Right.
Out of sight, out of mind. God forbid
Totally.
you forget something.
Right.
Oh my goodness, I can't tell you how many people. Great credit.
Right.
They forget to pay one little thing and that cracks them for 80 points. Don't be that guy.
Yeah.
Second thing, credit cards. Now you didn't have any, and you saw how much that affected you.
Yeah.
Well, now imagine if you have a lot and your credit card bills are way up here.
Right.
Your credit cards, your utilization is what they try to say. The amount of your cards that you're using every month.
Right.
That makes up 30% of your credit score.
Wow.
That's a chunk, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of times people come in and they're like, well, I don't know why. My score keeps going up and down. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah.
I'm paying my bill every month.
Right.
I get it. What I try to tell them is, like we said, the second C, it's utilization.
Right.
Keep it, everybody says 30%. If you're house hunting, which most of my clients are, keep it 10% or under. That way you're getting all of the amount of points that you can get
Right.
for having your cards under control.
Right.
Every 10% you run it up, you're knocking about 10 points off your FICO score. So having a high credit card can kill you, and you wouldn't even know it.
Right.
Okay? So now that they know that, okay, pay my bills on time, keep my cards low.
But can I guess the last C?
Try and guess the last C.
A Corona.
A Corona, I would love.
You gotta fucking drink your way out of this fucking
It's
thing.
always beer o'clock somewhere. No. Last C's collections. All right, not necessarily charge off, but collections. Those things you may have forgot. That cable bill you forgot all about.
Right.
Oh my God, I didn't pay that last Verizon bill and it snuck up.
Yep.
Those are the last things that we negotiate for you.
Okay.
You owe them this much. We'll get them none of this much, and we'll get them to agree to come off your credit report.
Right.
When you get one of those deleted, you get about a 20-point pop to your score. Okay.
Wow. I mean, 20 points, I think for a lot of people is a big pop.
Huge. And it doesn't matter if it's a $10,000 account or a $200 account. It's the same amount of points you get back. So
Right.
take care of the little things. You'd be surprised.
Right.
You get all your 3 C's in order, trust me, you'll be able to be funded for anything. All right? And as long as you have that in your mind, that's what I try to put in everybody's head. You get that in mind,
Yeah.
you're going to be golden.
I love that.
So
3 C's, love that. Write that down. And I think, again, this is coming from the expert. So, on top of that, though, so when my wife, I don't know if I told you this, I have 3 kids under 3. And
God bless you. Jeez.
Thank you, God. Luckily, everybody's sleeping again, so we're good, right? But my wife, my wife is the CFO for all of our companies and like just our personal finances. So that's not my lane, right? But when when she was pregnant with the twins, I got something in the mail. So somebody comes to my front doorstep, right? Because we have one of our rental properties that used to be our primary residence. So fast forward, somebody comes to my front door to hand me I got served or whatever the fuck it's called, right? And I'm like, what the fuck? So I go inside, it's like a manila envelope. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? So I go inside, I open it, and it's like, this house is about to go into foreclosure if I don't pay, because she forgot to pay. And normally, she put everything's on auto pay, because that's what we all are about, auto pay. So like you said, set and forget it. But I forget what happened where she needed to change something, so she stopped it, paid with a new card, and then you had to update it next month. I forget what the fuck happened. But anyway, she forgot to put it back on auto pay. She thought it was on auto pay.
Right.
So they sent it to my primary residence, obviously. I got served my residence, whatever. And they're like, you missed 2 payments. And we both don't miss payments. So I was like, what the fuck? So now, so you can imagine, both of our credit scores, boom! Right? Not 1 payment, 2 payments, right? So I go nuts again. So I start calling these people, and they're pretty much just like, sorry, you didn't pay the bills. There's nothing we can do, because I was trying to get them to remove it off my credit score and off of the credit union. So wouldn't do it. So finally, and this is this is getting to a question, but finally I call after relentlessly calling the mortgage company, and I told them the whole circumstance. And in most cases, I would try to bullshit my way out of it, but the reality is my wife was pregnant. And she thought it was on auto pay, and she forgot. And she has, a young kid at home on top of being pregnant with twins. So she was just not thinking, right? And it was a genuine mistake. And if you look at our credit history, because we've used this mortgage company for almost 12 years with different properties. So it's like, if you're not gonna take care of us here, then why the fuck have I been your customer for so long, right? The one time, I believe a good business It's not about when things go right. It's about when things go wrong, what they do. And I fucked up. My wife fucked up, whatever. But like, we've always been in good standing with you. And so anyway, luckily, like everybody said no. Dude, I called the mortgage company, the same mortgage company, almost 50 times. I'm not even exaggerating.
No, go ahead.
Get it off. So they finally get it removed, thank God. So now that's off our thing. But not everybody has that level of patience. So, or like, grit to get this fucking thing off of their credit score. What type of advice would you give people if they have a situation like this? Like, so again, is that something that you do? Actually,
what you did, I was smiling inside by hearing what you did right there.
Oh, God,
what you
man.
did is it
I got a couple gray hairs from that.
Yeah, but look at that. Why do you think this is like this now, bro?
Because you're doing it.
I do it every day. What you did was you did a shotgun approach.
Yeah.
For a goodwill deletion. That you, without describing it, you described it exactly.
Okay.
A lot of times we'll have clients that, you have one 30-day late, something happened.
Right.
Perfect example, just what you did. Oh, I was overseas. I was on vacation.
Yeah.
We changed banks, and all of a sudden the auto drafts didn't come up. That happens so common.
Right.
Well, your history with your lender should count. It
Right.
should count.
Right.
Yeah, and you're right. I'm going to use that. That's perfect.
Right.
Well, when that happens, can we dispute that you did it? Well, you can't really dispute or argue that you didn't do it. You
Right.
didn't make the payment. But yes, by reaching out through many different angles, and I'll just leave it that way. We go through the whole corporate suite, so to speak.
Got it.
Reaching out, hey, verbally, email,
Got
calls. I've been in this game a long time. I know a few people. There's certain places you can reach out to.
Better call Drew.
Better call Drew. And you're able to get what's called a goodwill deletion. They don't want to call.
So is that what they did for me?
That exactly is what they did for you. It's
Shit.
a goodwill
I didn't
deletion.
know that was like titled that.
Yeah, it's called yelling at them until they say yes. But
No, I was playing the fucking. Dude, I was playing the fucking violin the whole time. I was like, come on, man, my wife's pregnant.
I've got so many sad stories saved in my hard drive. No, but that's exactly what you did, and that is a completely 100% valid way to get that one-time issue off your report. All right. They don't have to, quote unquote, report it for that month or whatever way they want to put it.
Right.
They entirely have the ability to just, it's gone.
See you later.
So no matter what the first person says, the third person, the fifth person, the seventh person may be the one that helps.
Right.
So yeah, you did exactly right with that. So that's half of what we do.
That's great.
Good portion.
And so again, obviously talk to Drew. Now if somebody's listening, they're like, damn, like, I don't like, because you see there's so many commercials, credit repair, right?
Yep.
So what is, like, talk to us about what that engagement looks like. Somebody's like going through this right now. What does that look like? How can they, like, what is it like? Give us like an example.
All right. Well, first thing I'm going to tell you is all the commercials that you see, let me just tell something. And all the TikTok and the YouTube and all the great advice that's out there. If it sounds too great and grand to be true, it probably is. There's no magic letter that I'm going to write or that anyone writes for $2,000 that's going to make everything fall off your credit report. Don't do that.
Right.
Oh, everything's identity theft. Don't do that. I'm going to pay $500 a month for something for some guy in a back alley in Philadelphia. Don't do that. What makes things go away, look at the base of your problem. Right. Your problem is, and the reason why I think of this was because I come from the other side of the fence.
Right.
You've got a problem.
Give me the money.
Yeah. Well, you've got a problem because you owe somebody money. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, that's how you're going to solve the problem. All right. Let's figure out a way of discussing it with the person that you owe. Let's negotiate something. Some money has to change place one way or another. Give it to them, and then get this account off your credit report.
Right.
I used to buy debt way back when this was nice and dark and I was a young man. We'd buy debt. You could buy it for 6 cents on a dollar. A Capital One card that you didn't pay gets sold somewhere. Well, sometimes, guess what? I bought it. And now it's me sitting on the bottom of your credit report. Well, it's not Drew Smith, but my company's name sitting on your credit report. And I will just let it sit there until you're ready to change your life. And then you're going to call me. And you know all I want? I'll make everything you want happen. Just give me 10 times what I paid for it. Right. That's it. That's all I want.
Right.
Well, that's the way a lot of these credit or debt buying, the game never changed. Now, if you want it removed, you can 100% buy your way out of a lot of these collection items. Right. Now, before you do, there's certain things you have to know. You have to know if they're going to delete the account. You have to know how long it's been since the last time you paid it. Guess what? There's rules out there to protect you. After 7 years, it's supposed to come off your record. These debt buyers, when they buy an account, they'll put the day they bought it on your credit profile.
Dang.
So now it looks like a newer debt. You didn't know that, and that dings you again.
Damn.
Well, wait a minute. So now there's a little I hit the button for that. Yeah. So that's something you always want to find out. You always got to know when the last date of your payment was to see if you even should be paying this. Now that's something. Hey, out of statute, get this off my record. That's a 30-cent letter. Boom, get it off of there. You want to make sure that they have all the facts and the proof that they have to validate that account before we start talking nickels and dimes. This is stuff that we do. A lot of times they may not be able to prove it. The account's too old. The I's aren't dotted. The T's aren't crossed. Get it off of there. Maybe there's some times where before you cut a check, look and see how it's listed on your credit report. Your credit report's supposed to be like the Bible. Everything on it has to be 100% factual. Everything has to line up. Well, and this kind of leads into this big thing we want to talk about. It's happening recently. If things don't match up, if the months aren't right, the dollar signs aren't exact, well, that's a cause that you can have to challenge that account and get it removed that way. One of the biggest things that's been, I can't tell you how many people walked into the office over the last 2 months. Student loans. Student loans have been biting people in the backside. We all got happy not paying them for years. And all of a sudden, well, now the piper has to be paid. All right. I've had 15. That's the exact amount. 15 over the last month and a half.
Now, would you say this is like the COVID situation?
It all started from there.
COVID?
Everybody stopped paying because of COVID. Man, we all got happy, ignoring the letters and the phone calls. That's just Sally Mae. I don't have to pay him. I'm in deferment. I'm in deferment. Everybody forgets. Okay. Well, towards the end of last year, they reinstated everything. All right, guys, your COVID thing is over. We got to get back to paying. And
hey, wait a second, I got new bills.
I got new bills.
I put money in that place. What do you mean?
Exactly. Or more likely than not, I'm not opening that letter. I'm not opening that. It is what it is. I've ignored it for the last 4 years. Well, the way student loans works is they're never going to mark you 30 days late, even though you are. They're never going to mark you 60 days late, even though you are. But when they want to get your attention, they drop that 90-day late on your credit report. Now you lost 100 points out of nowhere. And a lot of times people didn't know. They're middle of the way through their house purchase. And that hits. Now they're scrambling. All right, well, they got your attention. That's what it is. They got your attention. Now, how do you fix it? You go to studentloan.gov, you figure it out, you get yourself on an IDR, Income Dependent Repayment Program, or whatever it is. You get current. And then they're going to put you in deferment for another few years until they figure out what the government's going to do with it later. But you're going to get yourself on a plan, but you still have that 90-day late hanging out, right? You didn't get your points back. How do you get rid of the 90-day late? Well, you come see Drew. Everything
Got to
call Drew. Everything has to be accurate on your credit report, right? How am I current in January, current in February, and 90 days late in March? Hold on, I don't know what kind of calendar you have, but that doesn't seem like that should be possible. Well, it's not. That's the loophole that they give you. They may hurt you, but they'll always give you a loophole.
Right.
You can
We like loopholes. We like loopholes.
We love loopholes. We challenge the accuracy of that.
Yeah.
As far as getting the late removed,
right.
The score goes back to where it wants to go, and everybody's happy in life. Okay?
Yeah.
Just a small example of the little things that you have to look out for in your credit report. Right. I love to see you pay everything. That's what's deep in my heart. I want you to pay stuff, and I'm there for it. But you got to also know the little ins and outs.
Right.
To make sure that your rights are being, don't let somebody run you up the flagpole here. Make sure that everything's, where it needs to be.
Yeah.
So that you're not overpaying for things.
Well, I think actually it's a good point, because when you think about like how many people get taken advantage of because they don't know the system.
Yeah.
They don't know what they can do, what they can't do. They can't negotiate. They can negotiate. Mm-hmm. Like I think it's a big deal. That's why they better call Drew.
Yeah.
But also, what always just fucks with me is the thought process that, like, if you started a business,
mm-hmm.
right, or if I started a business, or you out there started a business and it didn't work, and you got some sort of lending, and you failed, right,
mm-hmm.
you can file Chapter 11. If you're a student and you get a student loan and you don't finish college or something happens or whatever the case, there's no Chapter 11.
No, sir. You can't get out of there.
You got to pay your bill. And how that never sat well with me. like from the rip. Like, and I didn't go to college, but all of my friends or employees or colleagues that have a ton of debt or that just paid off their debt, and it's like it's so insane to me that as a business, if there should be to hold universities accountable, especially now AI. I don't know how they're going to be in business still, but like when you think about it, like if I go to school, right, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to go to Rutgers University, and I'm going to be a lawyer, and again in most universities, not Rutgers specifically to call them out, but if Rutgers is supposed to be this prestigious law school that I go to, right, theoretically, I go there. And I don't wind up getting a job or something, right? Like there should be some sort of recourse where the school is accountable because like you're paying all this money, I'm supposed to be trained by the best, right? Just colleges in general. And like, because for business, the recourse is, hey, the business failed, sorry, like I'm not paying that debt. But for kids going into college, they can't have that recourse?
I think student loan, all right, now I'll preface this by saying this. I was the first kid in my family that was halfway smart. I'm the smallest guy in my family. First, they're a bunch of big manual labor brutes. I'm the one that had to learn how to read, I guess. No, but so I went to school. Great. Didn't really know too much. Yeah, I went to school. I graduated college. Yeah.
Right.
All right. I don't think I'm using my field. I think what I'm doing is I'm a naturally good talker. Fine. Blah blah blah.
Right.
Great. That works. Sales. You don't need to go to college for sales.
And I'm sorry, you went for finance, you said?
Yeah, I have an econ finance degree. That's my thing. And a minor in photography. Yeah,
Bam!
Because I stuck around forever and I needed to take classes. No.
You're just trying to party still.
Shh. But anyway, now I've got children. I've got 4 children.
Right.
My son works with his hands. Great. Didn't need to do college. Even though I'd love those 2 years of Seton Hall back.
Yep.
My 2 daughters that just graduated, you remember, are in the medical field. Like one wants to be a vet, wants to be a doctor. Well, all right. Well, you kind of got to go to college for that. You can't just pick that up. I get it. In the 70s, when they changed over how these student loans worked, now I wasn't there for that. I'm old, but I'm not that old. They created, in my opinion, one of the biggest, I don't want to say scams, but I got a lot of negative connotations about it, man. You're letting 18-year-old kids that you can't drink legally, you can't go do anything. But I'm going to let you sign up for $250,000 worth of school loans and let you figure it out at the end. And you can't get out of it.
You can never get out of it. Make your decision
now.
It's crazy.
It is crazy. I think there should be some kind of reform, but then this is going to be a political show, and I don't want it to turn into that.
Absolutely.
But, student loans. There's ways that'll take a whole nother podcast to figure out. But there's ways that we can negotiate to try and get the student loans into a more palatable way. A lot of it, since we're all business owners, I've helped some business owners do some things where we use a little bit of business funding to take care of some of the school loans and hide them over here. I've got people that were in that opened up nonprofits and were able to get some loans erased because of that way. Teachers, hey, we love teachers. Teachers at 10 years and boom, your school loans are forgiven. There's a bunch of different things. You just have to know where the loopholes are, so to speak, and how you can adjust yourself to be able to take advantage of them.
Yeah.
But
what I like though with loopholes, it's like you're using, for the people that are watching this, they're like, oh, loopholes. That's like the wrong way to do it. And it's like it's essentially there's rules, and there's finding ways that are still in the rules. You know what I'm saying? I'm not breaking the rules, but you're finding ways to use the rules to your benefit.
Exactly. That's exactly right. The rules are in place by whomever made the rules.
Whoever the hell made them.
And you just have to know ways to use the rules to your benefit.
Right.
Okay. That works great in collections. That works great in credit repair. That works great. My favorite person is my tax preparer. You know why? Because they can figure out ways to get things done. And hey, great. Now you're saving your money on your taxes, and it's all within the code. So, it always pays to have a professional in that field look over whatever it is you're doing, so to maximize whatever you can get done. So, yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, man.
Now, all right. So a few things. So, based on where, just economically, right? Because you're seeing a lot through credit repair and stuff. What are you seeing in the market, just based on like where people are financially right now? Because I know 24 was a tough year, I know, for a lot of businesses.
Yeah.
What are you seeing right now out there on the landscape, just given the current,
I I see more tough stuff.
Yeah.
And how you know that things are getting a little weird is you're just watching the rates of defaults on credit cards, watching the rate of defaults on loans. When people are coming to me, it was, oh, I have this little issue. Or, oh, hey, I forgot Verizon. Or, hey, this happened. Now you're coming to me, and I'm doing more advisory type of work because it's people that you don't. I'll use an old phrase. You don't have to wait for your hair to get wet to know you're drowning. Well, people aren't dumb. They know, uh-oh, my credit card bills are up to here.
Right.
And I know if I keep going on this path, there's a problem.
Right.
So people are coming in for just consultations, Drew. Like my score is in absolute trash, and I'm still in the sixes, but I can't keep paying all of this interest. And it's happening more and more and more commonly where we know you shouldn't have to put day-to-day expenses on your credit cards.
No.
Now if you want to do it for the points like I do, great. But if you're doing it because you have to, that's a problem.
Totally.
When you have to use your credit for day-to-day there's an issue, and I'm seeing more and more of that coming through the country. That's either people aren't making enough, or interest or inflation's gotten to the point where they can't figure it out. But whatever it is, that's what I'm seeing a lot of. So you kind of got to prepare yourself beforehand, see what's going on, and put yourself in a position where, all right, I don't want to be that guy. Let's fix it before my hair gets wet, so to speak.
Yeah,
my hair gets wet. It's a problem.
It's like the frog boiling, right? Like
it's like the house. Exactly.
Yeah, it's interesting. Now I have a question. So like as an example, like so I have an Amex, like I guess it's a charge card. Not a charge card. What's it called?
It is a charge card. Charge card is you're supposed to pay it off all at once, but now
that's what I have it as. Yeah.
Yeah, but now Amex does have it where you can roll it over. But I get it.
But their interest rates are nuts.
Yeah,
so
don't
I don't do that. I just use it as a charge card. But like over the years, so like when I first, my wife, when we moved in, she was like, "I'm getting you a credit card. This is crazy, right?" So we got my first. I still have my first credit card, Capital One. But anyway, so got Amex back then. Use it all the time now, and now I have all my business expenses on it, so I spend a lot of money every month.
Yeah.
But so you're essentially saying that hurts me?
No, using your cards, especially Amex, doesn't hurt you.
Okay.
No one cares.
So that 10% utilization doesn't matter there?
The 10% comes into play with what you revolve into the next month. Now, Amex, you're supposed to pay it off every month
Which
anyway.
you do, yeah.
So it's not even an issue. It's not a kind of question.
Got it.
But for your other cards, your non-charge cards, okay?
Yep.
If you've got a $5,000 limit, I don't care if you run it up to $4,999. When the bill comes, if you're able to pay it all the way off, great, perfect. You get the access to all those points.
You can't have that 10% carry over.
You don't want to have a lot carry over because once it carries over to the next billing period, now you're charging interest on it, so now they're getting their 20-something% from you, which why do you want to give them free money?
Right.
And B, that's what they calculate your utilization on.
Understood. Okay. So that helps.
Right. So you figure, all right, it's $5,000 card. You left 1,000 over the next month. All right, you're at 20%.
Yeah.
You just dropped your score maybe 20 points. All right. Do I want to get my 20 points back to the? Yeah. Pay off the $1,000.
Right.
All right. It is what it is. That's the easiest way of describing it, but more importantly, it's also the easiest way of getting your points back.
See, I appreciate that because I think most people probably think that that's the situation where it's like, if you're using over 10% of the credit card, and that's where you're getting banged, rather than you're carrying it over and not paying the amount. So that makes sense.
You're carrying it over. A lot of people don't know that, and especially when they're new to credit. They go out, they get the first credit card. I don't know. They go on Credit Karma and click something. All right, I got a $500 Capital One card. Everybody's first credit card, and they get it, and they've got in their mind, well, I have to show them that I can pay it back.
Right.
So they go and they buy dinner or whatever the heck it is. They run it up. It's at $450. Well, I'm going to make sure that I pay I'm going to put it on auto pay because Drew said so. So I'm going to auto pay $25 a month, and I'm going to build my credit. You're absolutely murdered yourself because you left 80, 90% utilization on your card, and you're just paying it down a little bit. So your score, you tanked it by 80 points or so by running the card up, and you're not going to see it come back down until you pay that balance off. But if you don't know that, and you're just making your minimum payments thinking you're doing well, you're going to be wondering, well, why is my score here? Why isn't it going anywhere? Because nobody told you need to pay the card off.
Right.
All right. So that's a lot of what happens on the first, any consultation. I do a lot of things. I speak at churches. I put on events for realtors. I'm always doing something. I'm down there talking to you right now.
Turning up Anthony Battle parties.
They're tearing up Anthony Battle parties. Shout out to Anthony Battle, baby. So, I always preach and teach, because if you don't know, like I said, if you don't know the rules, you're not going to play the game right. So one little tip like that, hopefully somebody listens and says, oh, wow, that's cool.
Right.
Pays off their little $300 credit card and sees a score skyrocket. Says, wow, that was a good bit of information. That's...
No, that's great. And I think, that's the one thing that really gets me, is that in school, like, I feel like where our school systems fail us in this country is, or maybe in the world, I don't know. I know typically maybe that's not the case in other countries. I don't know. But I know at least in our country, like, why are they not teaching us financial etiquette like this in school, right? Like, hey, eventually, credit's a really big deal. In high school, you should learn that. Like, credit is a big deal. It's not just like, there was one class, I forget that I took, it was like, I forget how it was called. Yeah,
we still have that?
home ec, right? Yeah, well, home ec was cooking and shit and home stuff. But I'm talking about the one, I forget the damn name of it, where it's like they teach you how to write a check and stuff. But nonetheless, I took that class, but I didn't learn shit. Like, I don't remember a damn thing from that class because it wasn't important. They weren't teaching you this shit. Like, yo, guys, you need credit. Like, in your life, you're going to need credit no matter how good you think you are. And the funny part, though, too, which is insane, is, I've been in business for, 17, plus years. Like, I've built up a good business, in a couple different verticals. And when me and my wife were going to buy this, the house I'm living in now over here in Wall, like, I, had everything I needed to do it financially, right? And I'll never forget, I had a conversation with the mortgage rep from Chase, and I do a lot with Chase. So like, I thought they were going to be like, rolling out the red carpet for me, all this shit, and they did for the most part. But they were like, listen, like, they're like, it doesn't matter. Like, banks care less about how much money you have. You could have millions of dollars in your account, but if you don't have, like, two factors that I learned is, if you own your own business, it's a lot more risky than being an employee, which is so insane to me. But I don't know, I guess it makes sense. And then secondarily, your credit. They're like, you could have millions of dollars, but if your credit's like just okay, they're like, they don't care about that, because one day you might not have millions of dollars, right? And now you owe them this debt. And I was like, damn, all right. Well, I thought it was like, oh, if you have cash or this or that, then like you're good. But it's so crazy that they don't care how much money you have, right? This guy told me that there's this one client that he had at Chase that had well over like $30 million in cash in his Chase account, right? $30 million, right? And he goes, he wanted to buy this crazy property, right? That he could well afford. But his issue was that he got that $30 million. It was a family Passover once his parents died. So like whatever you call that. Yeah. Yep. But his income didn't support what the payments would be for this big excursion, property he wanted to get. So they didn't give it to him. And what's insane, right, is it's like they're like, you think that somebody would have that much liquidity, right? Would just be able to be like, hey, I'm going to, they have that money, so they're good for it. But obviously Chase has been around for a very, very long time, and they've seen people come and go. So to them, what he's telling me is like, we don't hold a standard to what you have today. What's your income, right? What's your credit? And that's what we care about. And anyway, so I'm saying that because I think that's important for people out there that are listening that are like, hey, I want better credit, or I'm looking to buy this dream home, because your credit matters, but they're looking at all these different factors. And and it's you better call Drew.
I love that. I'm getting one of those. That's 1,000%. Everybody thinks, oh, you're going to a credit repair. You're crap credit. You're a poor guy. You would be astounded with how many. I get clients from financial advisors. Listen, this, and it's kind of funny you say with the inherited. It's usually, I won't say it's usually, but more than one conversation I've had. Yeah, with a young fella, they just got money, don't know two things about it, they just have money. And we got to get them straightened out so that they can actually do something to invest properly that money. Your credit score it's kind of like with all these companies, they don't know you.
Right.
They don't know, hey, John's a good guy. They don't know Drew's a good guy. Yeah, give it to him.
But they also
just
don't give a
know you
shit.
by, and they don't give a shit. But they just know you by those 3 digits.
Right.
That's
I
it.
want to look something up while you're saying I keep talking.
No, but yeah, no, that's it. They just know you by those 3 digits. So you have to have those 3 digits in order to do any kind of business nowadays. Credit score opens your doors, man.
So let's see this. So I just asked ChatGPT, what is the average credit score of in the United States? What do you think it is?
All right, I'm going to go 701.
Really?
What
I
I
would
deal
think
with,
way lower.
what I deal with is homeowners. So that's the average for in our little area. So
Yeah.
when I go in,
it
and
says 715.
really?
That's
It's higher than that?
crazy.
All right, hey.
I thought it would be. I used to have shit credit. I thought it would be low as fuck.
When folks come, let me not. I don't say anything, but yeah, 700. You're a C student. All right, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when folks come up and they're like, my credit's good, I'm in the 6s, and then they say it's a 600 on Credit Karma scale, and I'm like, oh, that's great, because I know you're gonna put,
Dang.
because I know you're gonna pull like a 5 something if we
Damn.
pull it for an actual FICO, but yeah, you're supposed to be at a 700 or above, bro. Yeah.
Damn. So 750. I'm shocked by this.
Actually,
I
I'm a
was gonna
little
say-
surprised it's higher than 7. I thought 7 would have been, but
I
yeah.
thought it was gonna be at like at least mid to high 6s.
Nah, man, dude.
Wow.
Well, depending
So
on
people are in better shape than I thought.
step our games up, guys. No,
Utterly shocked by that still.
yeah, I'm telling you.
But I'm glad. Listen, I guess I gotta have more faith in the USA.
Well, like I said, man, it's not like it's coming from 0. It starts the lowest score you're going to
Yeah,
get is a
that's true.
350.
That's
so
true.
350 to 850, yeah.
Yeah.
700, you're a C student. You know,
Right.
So,
But what does it take to be an 850?
ooh, a lot. All right, let's imagine you never did anything wrong ever.
Ever.
All right. So all of your bills, you don't have a single missed payment.
Right.
Your credit cards that you have a nice long time frame. You've got over 8 years of credit card history.
Okay.
Your cards are sitting at like 3%. Great.
Right.
Let's see. We've never had no inquiries, no nothing. Basically, a clean sheet of paper
Right.
will get you an 850.
Right.
And you know what that 850 is going to get you? A lot of stress and worry because
You wanna keep
anything
it.
can happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's anything over a 751.
Right.
You're golden, man. You're good. Enjoy I like to use my credit for things. Anything over a 751, you're still top tier.
Right.
800's great, so you can be like this at the bar.
Right.
And 850 in
I wanna
over
see what mine is
20
now.
years of dealing with credit, I've never seen an 850. I've seen some 840s. I've never seen a 350 either, which is the lowest score. Both of those two things are like unicorns.
Right.
You're never going to run across one in the wild.
Is Credit Karma legit or no?
It's
Like, if you look at their
legit for
scores?
what it is. That's
Yeah.
a Vantage score. No one really uses a Vantage score.
Right.
When somebody tells me, hey, my score is a 750, depending on whatever they say right after that, I kind of just nod and smile. Because there's a million different scoring units.
Right.
There's FICO 2, FICO 3, FICO 4, FICO 5, FICO 10T, FICO 10. Vantage. There's a bunch of different scores.
Right.
And whoever's pulling your score is going to give you the score that's most important to them, if that makes sense. All right. Your car dealer will give you a different score than your mortgage lender, which is going to be a different score than what your credit card is going to give you when you go on, Amex.com. You're looking to give you a FICO 8.
Right.
That's fine. Everybody's going to give you a different score. So Credit Karma gives you a Vantage score. All right, that's a score that they kind of made up there. You know what I
Right.
mean? So it's going to be unnaturally higher than what you think. Than
Right.
somebody that matters would
Right.
pull.
If you're in a house or a car.
Right.
Right.
People come up, oh, I got a 680. Yeah, I didn't get approved. All right, well, let's do a soft pull with the mortgage company. The mortgage company brings them back at a 590. Well, why is that? Well, that's a
Right.
FICO 2 score versus a Vantage score. The data that Credit Karma gives you on your accounts is 100% accurate, though. It just only gives it to you for 2 bureaus. You have 3, but at least the data is correct.
Right.
I'm not mad at it because it keeps people at least thinking about their credit. So good. It'll alert you if something horrible just happened to you.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Right.
But it's not necessarily the score that real people,
So does FICO matter more, you think?
FICO.
In general, I'm saying?
The score that your lender is pulling is what matters.
Got it.
If that matters. So that could
Got
be a
it.
FICO 8 for a card. That could be a FICO 2 for
I
your
didn't realize
house.
there was multiple FICOs. I
Oh, yeah,
thought it was
there's
just
tons.
FICO was general.
Yeah. No, there's a new one that's coming out that we're hoping, not hoping, I don't know. FICO 10T. T stands for trending. Right now, here's something to watch out for. Right now, if you have a little issue on your credit report, we can take care of it. It's gone. They take another snapshot of your credit. Hey, the number's great. 10T, they look back over the last year or so. And they're like, hey, man, wait a minute, man. You just paid off your credit cards yesterday. Wait a second.
Like,
You're not
right?
that great. Wait a minute. You're a little riskier than we thought.
Right.
If that takes hold, that's going to be a whole nother conversation. But, yeah, there's a ton of different scoring models. And the one that's important is the one your lender pulls. Long story short.
There's no like straight answer there. Like there's no like not straight, but there's no like general.
Get your data correct.
Got it.
If your data is correct, your data is the same no matter what credit model is pulled. Make your data on point, and your scores will automatically be as high as they can be.
I love it.
That's it.
You heard it here first, Drew Smith. But all right, so before we wrap up, 2 questions I have for you.
Come on.
So I got a hard one, and I got a mild, not so spicy, but mild. Which one do you want first?
Okay. Give me either one. Throw me the curveball first.
No, you got to pick.
Give me the hard one first.
I like it.
Let's get it out of it.
So, all right. So, you have kids, obviously. And legacy is important to most business owners. It's more importantly, parents.
Right.
So, when you're not around, what do you want your children to remember you by?
Wow.
Like in a room, right? If they're meeting somebody, or somebody they're talking about you and you ain't around, what would you want them to say?
I've got two answers for that. What do I want them to? I know what they're going to remember, and then I'll say what I want them to remember.
Yeah.
Dad went out of his way to help everybody that came across his doorstep, which is what I do.
Yeah.
I go out of my way for everybody, much to my doing sometimes. What are they going to remember? I've done the same thing to them every single day since they've been babies. I give them a pat every single time. They go, all right, here, come here, get your pat. You're never too old for a pat. Pat them on the head. I don't know where I got it, but I've been doing it since they're a little kid, and they hate it now. But I'm assuming they'll be 35 someday, and I'll be keeled over, and they'll be like, remember Dad used to give us pats? Oh, I hated it. Yeah, I remember, but either way. So those are the 2 things. Dad liked to help everybody, and he patted us on the head.
And what about your wife?
What about her? No, I'm kidding. No, wait. What does she remember? Hopefully the same thing. He's a funny guy, and he worked.
He patted me on my head.
I patted her on a bunch of places. But
It's funny because
I got all the kids.
I don't ask this question, and the last guest was like, I asked because I always ask about kids first. And he was like, I want to also mention my wife. And I realized I never asked it. So you're the first one I ever asked about the wife.
I like that. It's a place of honor. Nice.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah. And then the second question is, over the years when you obviously started, from, being in the, stockbroking business all the way through today, when you think about one of your toughest times, whether it was like, having a financial or whatever the case could have been, what did you learn about yourself and about business in that moment that if you could go back would be like a golden nugget you would give yourself?
Don't chase money. Don't chase the dollars. If you just do what you're supposed to do, solve people's problems, money comes. All right. If that's what your focus is, if that's what your focus is focus on that person that's crossing. I'm going to solve your problem.
Right.
You won't have any problems yourself.
Dude, that's so fire.
Thanks.
And I couldn't agree more with that. Again, it's funny when anybody I've met that's really good at what they do and they're passionate and they want to help people, those are the most successful people, right? Not the people who are just, I want to be rich or I want to chase money. But the people who are genuinely like they care about showing up, doing their job, doing what they got to do, and being the best version of themselves, those are the people who typically go far.
Nice.
Especially helping people, obviously. That's the number one thing.
Yeah. You can't fake it.
No, right? And like when you think about it, most people, when you're the most miserable or depressed, is when you're fully focused on yourself. When you're helping people and you're out there helping people, whether it's changing their lives or just helping somebody move, which nobody wants to fucking help people move. But like literally, if you're just giving somebody some sort of support or help, like that's the real key to happiness.
There it is.
So where can people engage you? This is the end here. So where can people,
Trinity Solutions. All right. I am everywhere, I guess. The kids made me, I'm on Instagram, I guess.
Yep.
Drew FICO Pro on Instagram. I guess I'm me. Drew Smith on Facebook. You find me on Facebook.
Your website.
Very good. Trinity Solutions USA.com. That's
Good.
my website. And, assorted phone numbers. Anybody, how big's your reach? I'd give my personal number, but I don't know, man. I don't want any crazy calls at 3 in the morning. 609-422-0976. That's where you can text Drew to FICO Pro.
Love it. Love it. And I like it. We live in the world now where it's like text, don't call me.
Yeah, don't
text
me.
Don't call me.
Text me, I'll get back to you. No.
That's like back then. It's like, come over anytime. We'll call first.
Yep, there it is. No.
All right, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Again, right now, we are almost through, we're in Q2 on our way through this year, and it's important that you achieve your goals and you get after it. Every year, there are so many things that block us month over month, day over day, and what you do today, listening to this podcast, we're talking about finances, helping you get, into a better credit score so you can, again, better prop yourself up in the future. Credit scores are important. If you need anything, you call Drew. But setting yourself up for success financially, your health, your business, your career, you're in charge of it.